Just under 6 months to go until the midterm elections. 5 states head to the polls today on the biggest day of voting so far this year.
And here to tell us what stands out about today's primary elections and why it's time to start paying attention to these races is ABC News Political Director Rick Klein. Rick, thanks for being with us. So 5 states voting in today's midterm elections. Which races do you have your eye on?
Yeah, it's a remarkable cross-section of the big issues that are going to animate the entire year. The main event, guys, right there in Pennsylvania. It was probably the biggest state for Joe Biden in 2020. It might be just as important in the battle for Senate in 2022. You've got a crowded Republican primary. Donald Trump has played in that race to some controversy. The Democrats, meanwhile, have a candidate in the Lieutenant Governor, John Fetterman, a really interesting character, just had a stroke on the eve of the election. We'll see how that changes things. But Democrats think they've got a chance to pick up that seat, depending on who their nominee is and who the Republicans choose. And this is an interesting one, way out in Oregon. Now, Donald Trump has endorsed more than 100 candidates this election cycle. Joe Biden has endorsed 2. One of them right there in Oregon, an incumbent House member who's a moderate, someone who's actually opposed parts of Biden's own agenda. He's got a challenge from an Elizabeth Warren-type progressive, and Biden has gone with the incumbent trying to save that House majority if he can.
You just mentioned former President Trump. Of course, his name not on the ballot, but he very much is playing. What's his influence going to be?
Yeah, take a walk with me, guys. So we have never seen a former president who has played in competitive primaries anything like Donald Trump. This is just today, the places where he's chosen to get involved. Out in Idaho, the lieutenant governor is actually running against the incumbent governor. Both Republicans. Trump has a candidate. We talked about Pennsylvania. Dr. Oz, that choice has just roiled politics in Pennsylvania. A lot of people in the Republican Party are concerned that choice might actually open the door for another candidate, totally untested candidate, to squeeze out that nomination. Senator Mastriano is an election denier. He's running for governor in Pennsylvania, of course, a key battleground state. And down in North Carolina, his choice for Senate's probably going to be fine, but Trump may be the only person in the Republican Party trying to save the career of Congressman Madison Cawthorn. After all of the scandals, why? All of the scandals, he has stayed loyal to Trump. Trump stays loyal to him. Just yesterday, he put out a statement, give the kid a second chance.
Oh. Wow. All right. And then speaking of the House of Representatives, it's been a very narrow margin there. Will Democrats be able to hold on to their majority?
Yeah, that is the slimmest majority that Democrats have had in the modern history of the House. And they can only afford to lose 3 seats to keep the majority. Very, very difficult under the best of circumstances. And these are not the best of circumstances for Democrats. A couple of months ago, it looked like they were actually doing okay with redistricting. But just yesterday, we got a new map handed down right here in New York. That means some Democrats are going to have to run against each other. They may lose enough seats just in New York State to lose the majority for them right there.
Wow. All right, folks are going to the polls. What's on top of mind for the voters?
Yeah, so this is really well timed, guys. So our partners over at 538, they did a poll asking people what kind of issues they're thinking about. What are the big issues that are facing them this year? And you can see the biggie by far, inflation, high prices. 52% of people say that's one of the top issues for them, and it's the same for Democrats, Republicans, independents. People are thinking about all sorts of things, but they see those prices. Every time you drive by a gas station, you see those prices. When you check out at the grocery store, you see those prices. It is on people's mind. It is by far the biggest issue, according to this poll with Ipsos, and it is something that you're going to see play out in every one of these primaries right through November.
And with inflation top of mind, is that typically not going to be good in a midterm election year for Democrats?
It's the economy's stupid always, and when the economy's bad, this is a big albatross around the necks of Democrats and Joe Biden.
Don't call her stupid. We got it, Rick. But for all the folks looking at this and so much debate about the Supreme Court and that leak, tell us why and where abortion rights might be for people.
Yeah, so it's interesting. This poll was in the field, and part of the time was right before that leak, and also in the field after. And even in that environment, it was a lower tier issue. Not to say that it isn't important, or a lot of people don't believe in it, but things like crime, immigration, and of course higher prices seem more relevant to people in their everyday lives. Again, people see it, they feel it every day when you go about your business.
It's driving people to the polls for sure. And is there one race you're watching tonight specifically?
Yeah, I think Pennsylvania it might be for all the marbles. That could be the race that the Democrats have the best chance of actually picking up a seat, and that's the place where Trump's effect is on full display. He went into this crowded primary. All those candidates like Donald Trump, by the way. He chose one guy, Dr. Oz. He says he looks great on TV. He's our guy. But there's a lot of Republicans in Pennsylvania that we've been talking to that say, you know what? thanks but no thanks. We don't trust that he's a true conservative, and we love Donald Trump, but we don't love the idea that he's just anointing someone to be United States Senator.
Well, we have absolutely loved having you in studio this time. Yes. You've been a great friend of our show. You have shown up when we need you sometime last second. So it's really good to have you here.
And it's been fun exploring the studio with Rick, right?
Yes.
We took a little journey together.
We get to walk around.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much, Rick Klein.
Thanks, guys.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.